Hello guys, you're welcome back to my channel. So in today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make a notch collar, or a camp collar, either of the two, how to cut and sew it from beginning to the end. So I'll be showing you in details of how I make this. So if you are interested in this kind of tutorial, if you are interested in knowing how to do this in a very simple way, in a very simple method, kindly stay back and watch this tutorial with me from beginning to the end. So if today is the first time of watching my channel, you are welcome, and if you are a return subscriber, you're welcome as well. You are not mistaken for joining this channel. So if you like to know how I do this, let's get into this tutorial in details. So here is the fabric I'll be using for this tutorial. This small fabric is what I'll be using, and this Ankara that we are going to be using for the collar, and we will need our armhole cuff, our check, and our ruler. Those are the three things, and I'll need my scissors as well. Those are the three things that we'll need for this tutorial. And this is it. This is the piece that we're going to be using for the back body. First thing and foremost, the first thing we need to cut is to cut the back body. Then we will use the back body to cut out the front body. You use the back body to cut out the front body, and this is the length I'll be using for this is a crop notch collar top. Is a crop top. So before we proceed, I'm going to mark out the starting point for all the measurements. So that's why I'm ruling this out. So this is where I'm going to, from this ruling that I make, is where we are going to start all the measurements we are going to be working with in today's tutorial. So first of all, let's measure out the, so we are going to just measure out the basic body measurements in this sense now. Only the basic measurements. So we are going to measure out the shoulder measurement. We are going to measure out the shoulder measurements. Then we proceed to, so this is the bust line. Then I'm going to measure out the same thing I measure on the shoulder at these parts. Then connect the two lines together. I'm going to connect these two lines, the shoulder and the bust line. I will connect it and mark it as shown. This is just measuring out your basic measurements, the normal measurements out. Then I'm going to do the shoulder slope and take out the bust measurement, the waist measurement. So since I'm done taking the bust and the waist measurement, the next thing I'm going to do now is to take the neckline measurement. So for the neckline, I'll be using 3 inches by 1 inches. I'll be using 3 inches by 1 inches. 3 by 1, and just do it like this, just as shown. Then I'm going to mark out the shoulder slope. For the shoulder slope, I'll be using 1/2 inch and quarter. I'll be using 1/2 inch and quarter and connect it as shown. Can you see that? And connect it. Then the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut all this out. I'm going to cut it out. After cutting it out, then we will now use this back body to cut out the front body. But first of all, let's cut it out. So here is it. Here is it. Can you see? This is the back body. This is what we have. Let me open it for us to see the back body. Here is the back body. So it is this back body that we are going to be using to cut out the front body right now. So the next thing we are going to do now is to place the back body on another piece that you already fold into two. Now, what is important here is how many inches you are going to be adding to the front body, which is 5 inches. You are going to be adding 5 inches extra to the front body. We are adding 5 inches extra to the front body, and this is it. I already placed the back on the front material that I already cut out. So first thing I'm going to do is to cut out the shoulder slope on this. I'm going to cut out the shoulder slope, the armhole, and the side as well, after I already measure out the 5 inches extra that I already added into the measurement. Can you see that? So now the next thing we are going to do now is to start taking the necessary measurements. So first of all, I'm going to mark out 1 inches from here. I'll mark out 1 inches. This 1 inches that I mark out is going to be the lapping, it's going to lap on each other. The front is going to lap on each other. So this 1 inches is the lapping that is going to lap on each other. Are you getting it? Okay, so just mark out the 1 inches, mark it out as shown. Mark it out as shown. After you mark this in 1 inches out, the next thing we need to do now, I already marked the 1 inches out now. So I'm going to measure the remaining one, which is 4 inches. So this is it, is 4 inches. So for the neckline width, I'll be using 3. I'll be using 3, and yes, I'll be using by 3. Then just watch how I'm going to do that. Can you see? Because the neckline has to align with the back neckline. So I'll just mark it out like this. I'll just mark it out like this. Then I'm going to cut it out. Yes, I'll cut it out. This is what we are going to have after you cut it out. Then after cutting it out, let's remove the back body. We are done with the back body. The next thing we are working with is the front body. Then I'm going to cut the front into 2 pieces, because the front is going to be 2 pieces. It's not going to be 1 piece. Then I'm going to notch here. I will notch this exactly that I marked my 1 inches earlier. I'll notch it. Then I'll come from this. I'll come inward. I'll come in from the 1 inches that I marked earlier. I will come in with 1 inches again. That makes it 2 notching. So I notch it twice. Then I'll pick. The next thing we're going to do, I will advise that you cut out interfacing to complete this piece here. After you fold it, you cut your interfacing. But for this particular one, I'm not going to be using interfacing because I'm just doing this for tutorial, and where I am here, I'm not with lining, I'm not around. I just want to do this tutorial. So this is how it's going to look like after we are done. This is how it's going to look, and this is the 1 inches that I said we are going to lap it in. This is how it's going to look like after we are done doing it. So before we proceed, can you see I just fold it to see. So the next thing I'm going to do now before anything is to join the shoulder. I'm going to join the shoulder. So here is it. I already joined the shoulder. Yes, I just took it and I joined the shoulder. Don't mind the fabric I use, don't mind the fabric at all. So I just joined the shoulder. After joining the shoulder, the next thing we are going to do now I'm going to do now is to measure. So when you want to measure from the first notch here, this one, just to cut your collar, the collar you are going to cut out for the neckline. So measure it till you are going to stop at the first notch. Yes, so you are going to stop at this first notch here. So everything we have here is 15. So the collar we are going to cut out is going to be 15. So you are going to I just have to measure that. I have to measure that first. So after you measure it out like that, the next thing we are going to do is to take this one to the machine. We are going to take this one to the machine and sew it like this. Just sew it from here and stop at the first notch. Since I'm not putting lining, let's say I'm going to put lining now, I'll still stop at the first notch, the same thing, and stop at the first notch. So I'm going to go and sew it on the machine right now. I'm going to sew the two neckline, the right and the left. It's 2 piece. So I'll take it to the machine now and go and sew it. And this is it after I sew it. Can you see what I have? So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to notch the second thing. I'll notch it and bring it out. Let me show you. This is how it's going to look like after you sew it. This is how it's supposed to be. So take your machine and sew this little piece here. Sew it down so that it will not disturb you by the time you want to attach your collar to it. So you're going to repeat the same thing for the second neckline as well. Yeah, you're going to notch it and repeat the same thing here as well. And you're going to stitch here. Just stitch it down. Yes, just stitch that place down. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut out the collar at the neckline, and when we measure it, we measure 15 for the collar. I measure out 15 inches. So to cut that out, fold your fabric into two, fold it as shown. Just watch how I'm going to do it here. Just wash this place carefully depending on how much you want to use. For this one now, I'll be using 3 inches. Then we are using by 16. So when you are cutting it, at least make sure that it's 16, so that because of sewing allowance and joining, you are still going to join it. So this is what we have now, so I'm going to measure it out. So this is the 15. Let's first cut out 17 by 17. I'll tell you why I cut it by 17 now. Then fold it like this. You're going to fold. You can even decide to cut it by 18, so that you'll be able to do the shaping that you want to do. Then measure out your 15, the 15 inches you need here, and add little inches to it. So I'm going to cut it here. Just cut it for it to give us the shaping that we need. Yes, so this is what you are going to have. This is okay. So the next thing we are going to do now, after you are done like this, is that I'm going to add stay to it. Just normal stay. I'm not going to be using add stay for this. I'll be adding normal stay. So let me add stay and bring it back for us to see. So this is it after I already had the stay to it. This is what I got. So after you are done adding your stay, the next thing is to take it to the machine and fold just one side of it. Fold one side, like just one side, this place. Take it to the machine and fold it. And this is it after I already folded one side. After you are done folding one side, fold it just the way I fold it now, and leave half of an inch in between. After I fold one side, I just fold it like this and stitch it just like this. Just stitch it straight down like this on both sides. Take it to your machine and stitch it like this. Let me take it to the machine and bring. This is it after I already folded on both sides. This is what you are going to have. So I'm going to turn it now. I'll turn it to the good face. I'll turn it to the good face. Make sure that you turn it. If possible, take it to the iron table again and make sure that you iron it. So after you are done with everything, this is what you are going to have here. This is what you're going to have here. So it's not straight, so I'm just trying to like trim it a little bit off just to make it straight. Just to make it straight. So after I'm done with that, and since I already iron the main body, this is the main body that we already torn out, and I already iron it as well. I already iron it. I already stitched this place that I talked earlier. I already stitched it down. The next thing we are going to do is to attach our. I will advise you to use your pin. Use your pin to pin it down. And if possible, I will advise you to start from the middle. Start from both middle. Notch the middle of your basic body. Yes, like this. Notch it out. Notch the middle of your collar as well. I will advise you to start from both middle. So you start from the middle, you sew it to the right. You start from the middle, you sew it to the left. That will be better. And if you know how to sew it from one side to the end to the other side, you are free to do that. Anyhow you know how to do it, just follow the way you used to do your things. But I think this is also better. So just sew it from the middle to this place. And let's go to the machine and do that now. Let's go to the machine. So start from the middle, just like I said earlier, and sew it like that. So if today is the first time of watching my channel, you are welcome. And if you are a return subscriber, you are welcome as well. So if today is the first time of watching my channel, kindly subscribe to the subscription button And click on the notification bell. It's at the down part of this video you are watching. The notification bell is at the down part. Click on it so that you'll be notified anytime I posted a new tutorial. Thanks so much for watching the channel. If there is anything you don't understand in this tutorial, don't hesitate to leave your comments at the comment section, and I promise to answer you anything you would like to ask me from this tutorial. Thanks so much for watching the channel. Just like I said, repeat the same thing for the second side as well. So just sew it down. So after you are done sewing it, the next thing you need to do is to place this one. Just see the way I do it. After I'm done sewing it first time, place the one we folded that time, place it on it like this, just to cover the stitches. And make sure that you sew it straight down. Make sure that your hand is straight. Just sew it as shown. Can you see the way I'm doing it? Just do it like that. Just do it like this. And after sewing it, this is what we got. This is everything after I sew it finish. Can you see? This is it here. This is how it's going to look like. It's very simple and easy to make. Even if you are making a lab coat, you can still follow this procedure for your lab coat as well. You can follow this procedure. I have tutorial on how to make a lab coat. You can check on my channel. You are going to see that there. Thanks so much for watching my channel. So see you guys in my next tutorial. Thanks for watching the channel. God bless you. Bye.